We're here with the one and only 3-time Grammy Award winning producer, Troy Taylor.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure. Actually, it's an honor for having me here.
Thank you.
So let's start where it all started. So you started off as an artist, but you signed a bad contract, which led you into the production side of the music industry.
Okay.
So let's elaborate on that.
Okay, so let me take you back. The year was 1987, going into 88. I was in a group, and I just met this girl, and let's go into, because it lasts into going into 88. And in that time, the group thing wasn't working out. They had picked a manager that I didn't agree with, and I told them, you guys feel it, I don't feel it. Go, do what you do. So from there, I ended up producing this local rapper, and on that song, I did a hook. So I did the hook, he rapped. And this is before rapping and hooks with the hooks and stuff was really big. It was being done, but it wasn't, mainstream yet.
Exactly.
So when we would go to shop for the rapper, because I was just a producer, they would always ask who's singing. And so that led into us getting a deal. And then they really ended up saying that they wanted just me. But then by that time I found out how bad the deal was. And in the course of that particular single, because when I was younger I did record stores, worked at record stores and everything, read credits and everything. There was one particular name that I always saw and put in my head if I ever meet him, and that was Timmy Regisford. So upon going, because Timmy was an A&R, and he was a mixer as well as a DJ. So when they asked me if I wanted to get someone to mix the song, I just threw the name out there, not thinking, wow, it would actually get to him. And when they got him on the phone, it was like, wow. So I found myself in the session working with him and him watching him mix. And my theory was, if I can play him 3 tracks that I do have songs for, but I won't play the songs, I'll just play the tracks. If he asks for songs, I can tell him that I have songs, and then I won't bring them, but I'll suggest I can come back. Right. And so when he took a break at the mixing, I asked him if I could play him 3, tracks. And so he heard the 3 tracks. In the middle of the second one, he was like, where's the songs? And I was like, he said, you should put songs to it. And I said, I do have songs to him. He said, let me hear them. I said, I don't have them, but I can come back. Right. So that was on a Monday, so he told me to come back Wednesday. And from that point on, our relationship began. And so moving forward, meetings and meetings after, he ended up getting me off that label and signing me to Motown. And during the course of that, I met these kids that were signed to Motown for about a year, but Motown hadn't done anything with them yet. And the thing about me is, when I had the songs that I did, I always did a lot of harmonies. Right. And so it always sounded like a group anyway. So they felt like, Timmy and Gerald Busby, who was the president of Motown at the time, felt like these songs would be good for the groups. And it was 2 groups that they had. And so they picked some songs out, gave it to this group, gave it to this group. And after meeting this group, this youngest group, let's just fast forward, they came out a year later, all over the world, known as Boyz II Men. And at that moment, I decided, you know what? If I can do what I love and still don't have to be the front person, I think I'd rather do that. So I told Timmy, I told Gerald, and they were cool enough to really not let me go as an artist, and they let me out of my contract. It was really cool. Right. So you've worked with Boyz II Men, Whitney's iconic figure that paved the way for so many people in the industry nowadays. What was that experience like? Whitney Houston?
With all the icons, because you paved the way, and also you left an iconic mark in the R&B industry. So, all right, so growing up, Isley Brothers, growing up as being, remembering 3 and 4, hearing that voice on the radio, and then of course Aretha Franklin, some people you just don't think, it's not that they're too big, it's just that I don't want to try to work with them because they're them. Yeah. So I don't put it in my head that I would like to work with them. But upon working with Ron Isley and Aretha Franklin, it was like, sometimes
your dreams could be one thing, and God's plan could be another. Right. So he knew, and so when he put me in a room with Aretha Franklin, like, this is amazing. Like, and Ron Isley, and not only did I work with Ron Isley and had a single called Just Came Here to Chill in 2006, but then years later I would go to executive produce his last album. So that was pretty big. And see, the thing is, it doesn't matter how much it sold. It doesn't matter how well it did. I was with him. I'm a part of history. I got it on my resume. You know what I mean? And then with Aretha, we actually built a relationship where she would call and just see how I was doing, if I had any new songs. That's huge. That's the queen. The queen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just been a fan since forever. So actually working with her, and then not only working with her, actually having songs that that the world hasn't even heard. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, Patti LaBelle and OJ's. I worked with some amazing people. Like, really.
Well, tell the viewers more about your university.
So Troy Taylor University, which started off somewhat of a funny thing because I did Ustreams back then. Ustream classes Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. And actually the viewers, the main core viewers started making that up. They started, you know, we're in class. It started off as class, like I'm having a class. Right. So I would say that, but then they took it a step further. And they turned it into a university. And so as the time came where I was starting to not do it as much, they decided to make this alumni little thing with the picture, and they put it together, and they really, really made it a thing. And so I started using that as my artist development company, like TTU. If you can get through TTU, you can make the songbook.